Hi. Hello, it's me, local virtual baker. Hi. Hi there, Nico from space. I hope you had a fun time in space. Hi there, Bush. Hi, you two. How you lads doing today? How are my bread boys doing? Bread boys, girls, and all those in between. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all well acquainted with yourselves today. We're doing what one would say is an experimental stream today. Always a fun time in cyberspace. Nice. I like that. Sleepy? Well, hopefully you won't fall asleep too much, because today we're reading books. Wow. Unfortunately, I didn't have the means to set up a camera to show you the books as I'm reading, mostly because I might rest my head a bit too. But I have some books for us. Books for us to read, and maybe a help into being insightful, because these books are the books that I usually use as my baseline to learn so many things about Bred and such. So I have 4 kinds of books, and I think we might try and do something fun. Let's see if we can maybe try and make a recipe even. I believe that's actually a stream that we're gonna do later this week, like making recipes and such. Yeah, Saturday. Saturday we have a stream to where we're gonna try and make a bread recipe, but we low-key might actually do that today. I've fallen asleep so many times during my streams. Are you calling me boring? Wait, hold on. Are you wrong one. Are you calling me boring? Okay. Sorry. I had to take the opportunity. I never use my toggles, okay? No, I'm sleepy. Hi, Sleepy. Do you know where Bush is? I'm looking for my Bush. I'm looking for my mans. He's a Bush. Oh, before we get started today, I just want to advertise something because I can. This is my stream. I can advertise myself. Oh yes, paid advertisements. Let's go. Okay, hold on. First things first. I want to show you all a fun, nice little account. Now, if you ever want to look, well, not now. I'm just gonna post it into both chats here. I now have an Instagram. This Instagram is gonna be kind of neat. It's gonna be kind of cool. So this Instagram, I am planning on just showcasing lots of breads and such, but also things that I think I'm gonna try to transition a lot of food to be on here. As you see, as you know, I do a lot more bread and stuff on my Twitter. It's kind of more my brand. But sometimes I cook some good food that is really, really neat and pretty to look at. Case in point, my thing I cooked today. I cooked this honey soy glazed salmon with kidney bean and kale ragu with barley and a dark soy honey glaze. I didn't put the glaze on. The glaze is actually in this picture right here, and it is on the side. So yeah, it's all pretty tasty. No, salmon. Shush. Quiet. It isn't salmon, if you think about it. I can't believe you killed salmon. I didn't kill salmon. This isn't salmon. This is actually char. This is Atlantic char. It looks very much like salmon. But if this was salmon, it did still taste really good. Delicious. Had a nice bean and kale and what did I say? Barley? I think I said barley. I can't remember, but like it's very nutritious. I'm trying to eat it's okay, novel concept, but I'm trying to eat more healthier. I'm trying to eat more smart. I'm just trying to eat food that's just more good for the body and all this and that. So, kidney beans, they're pretty good for you. Kale, that was the kale I cooked yesterday. Honey soy glaze. It's a good way to flavor your salmon without actually adding some sort of sauce. And soy is relatively good for you, although high in sodium. And honey is not a nice sweetener. It's not granulated sugar. So hey. So yeah, that was my dinner tonight. I'm gonna be posting a lot more food over on Instagram. So don't worry, I'm not stopping my posts on Twitter. So here's to reiterate, on Twitter, I'm going to be posting stream foods and bread. I always post bread. I'm never gonna stop posting bread. However, on Instagram, I will still be posting bread because I love bread, but also things that I just don't feel like showing off on Twitter, like this. This was just my dinner. I took a pretty nice picture of my dinner, so maybe I'll showcase that on Instagram and stuff, because as I've mentioned already, I cook a lot on my own time, so it'd be nice to just show you what I'm eating in a few days, you know? So, yeah. That's the story, and that's the end of that PNG. We don't need to show you that anymore. Check out my Instagram, shilling myself out. Let's go. Showing myself out, showing up, giving myself a shout out here if you want to look up me on the Instagrams, because that's a cool new thing to go on nowadays, and you know, that's what people want. People want food, and Instagram is like the food app. So yeah, that and Pinterest. But I don't know if Pinterest has an app like that. But anyways, let's talk about books. I have books, and I actually have all of these books I'm gonna show right here. I got Bred Illustrated. I got the Bred Bible. I also got the this book that I talked about previously, and I also got this book too, but I'm not sure if we're gonna talk about it that much. This is the Flavor Bible. It is notoriously known. The Flavor Bible and the Bred Bible are actually two of my favorite books. They have a lot of insight. They have a lot of insight. They have a lot of information, and anything you would ever want to know about anything about bread, or if you want to talk about the Flavor Bible, about flavor profiles. Bred Illustrated is a recent book. It is a book that is composed from American Test Kitchen. They have a lot of stuff when it comes to cooking and baking and this and that. The reason why I actually know how to actually make Kaiser rolls as well as I do is actually because in one of the books, in one of the pages here, there's actually a recipe. There's a to-do show how to make Kaiser rolls, and the Nancy Silverton's bread from La Bred Bakery. This was the one I was talking about a few streams ago, and this is actually a nice little experimental stream, if you will. I've already said it, but this stream, I've been needing a good excuse to actually study more bread-related things. And I find it that if I stream, I put myself in a quote-unquote stressful situation. And when I do that, I'm more inclined to actually get stuff done. It's kind of like if you go to school, you know? Like, if you ever gone to school, or if you remember going to school, do you ever remember like going to school and then realizing that you're much more productive in school, but the moment you want to do something equally as productive and you go home, for example, it's it. That's no more else. You don't want to do anything else. You just want to sleep, eat, and game. So to help counteract that, I think it's best for me to try to do a bit of both, of streaming and reading, because it makes me think that I'm in school. It's no longer Betty Bye time and going to sleep and eat and do silly stuff like that. So we're just here. We're gonna be playing some, not playing. We're gonna be reading some books here, but I don't know. I don't really know what kind of books to read first. Does anyone have a preference? Does any of these book covers really interest you the most? That you want me to read a bit of? The Bread Bakery, maybe even the Bread Bible, or maybe you want to go a little spicy and flavorful and go with the Flavor Bible, or maybe you might want to go to the generic Test Kitchen, the America Test Kitchen of Bread Illustrated. I'm not trying to throw shade at them. They do good stuff, but it's kind of like the white bread. I don't know. I'm messing around too. I don't know what I'm talking about. And also, Test Kitchen knows a lot more than I do, obviously. So, yeah. So, Bread Bible it is. We're gonna be shelving these to the side for then. We will be reading these in just a moment. But yeah, the Bread Bible, actually one of my favorite books, unironically. I don't like reading. I can't read very well. Rose Levy Brambam. I believe. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, oh yeah, they made the same book. Flavor Bible, but no, they're not actually. They're different authors actually. But the Bread Bible, as you may or may not know, is about bread. So with it being about bread, there's gonna be a lot of knowledge and know-how and stuff about bread and like how do you make bread and how it's amazing and this and that. Like, oh wow. In short, a short while the trip I can't read. It just kind of struck to me that I don't think I can read. Not in the, I don't know how to explain this because I say this and people might actually think I can't read. But like, I don't know how to read this out loud really. Like, not really sure what you want me to do with this. Like, I can look through this thing as much as I want. And I kind of understand what's going on. Like fermentation, and also not only talking about reading and such, but like reading is a very quiet thing for me. I'm a quiet reader. I'm like a mental reader, if anything. So like reading out loud is very hard for me. It makes it actually so I unfocus. Because I focus so much about trying to make sure I'm reading things correctly, I actually counterintuitively forget what I'm reading about, so I don't know what I'm ending up to read about, and then it's a whole thing of like, okay, I'm gonna try and learn how to read, I'm gonna try and read this out loud. And then I go through the entire thing, read it again, and realize I have no idea what I just read. I know I just spoke it out loud, I know I just read it verbatim, but I have no idea what the heck I just read, and I don't know what I just even said. I could have said something really bad, but I had no idea because I'm bad at reading. But yeah, this book is talking about fermenting and pre-fermenting. Fermentation is what happens when the yeast is in contact with flour and water. Fermentation is what makes wine out of sugar, fruit sugars, and beer out of grains. In all cases, it occurs when yeast consumes sugars from starches, producing, among other things, bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. In the case of bread baking, it is the carbon dioxide bubbles that do the leavening and give it its great texture. So yeah, fun fact, if you did not know, they grow from carbon dioxide. Plant could eat this. You could eat this bush. Yeast is a living cell. Yeah, this is kind of this thing is pretty much giving the rundown of like overnight fermentation and fermentation of the whole bread as a whole. Basically saying like, oh yeah, if you want to make sure that your bread, if you put bread, the moment you put yeast with sugar and water, oh my god, the moment you put flour, yeast, and water together, quote unquote fermentation is already starting to begin to happen, because the yeast consumes the starch, which is then converted into sugar from the flour, and that makes the yeast grow. It ferments the dough itself, which adds flavor. The fluffiness and all this sort of such is made from the carbon dioxide gas that's expelled from the yeast. This and that and this. It's mentioning like, oh yeah, for yeast to grow, like 33 and 140 or 130, which, if you don't know, are actually ideal temperatures for bacteria growth too. So, but yeah, if you don't know, yeast is actually like a fungus among us. So, yeah, if you're allergic to mushrooms, I wonder if you can actually eat bread. Just because, let's say you are allergic to mushrooms, would you be allergic to eating yeast or something, or no? I don't know. Computer guru. He said that all my breads have one thing in common that he values greatly. Not only are they delicious when I eat them, but the flavor lingers in my mouth for a long while afterwards. There is a reason for this, and it is the pre-ferment or starter dough starter. The most flavorful breads then usually involve making a pre-ferment or dough starter. This starts with the fermenting process before the final mixing of the dough. To make a pre-ferment, you simply need to take part of flour, water, and yeast from the dough and mix it with the rest of the dough. For the rest of the dough. This pre-ferment sits at room temperature or the refrigerator to ferment and develop flavor until you make use it for the rest of the dough. The longer fermentation it offers develops extra gluten strength. For the dough adds depth and complexity of flavor with a long finish and increases the shelf life of the bread. It also makes it possible to use less yeast, which allows the taste of the wheat to emerge. In fact, the longer the pre-ferment, the less yeast you need. Yeast and mushrooms are not that closely related. Fair enough. Hi Nell, and hi Sue, I say. Yeah, we're doing some reading right now. Can you actually hear me, like, flipping through the pages right now? Like, I know that's kind of a thing that's, like, I'm doing right now. And I've been told that it's kind of, like, a nice sound to listen to, so... Yes, we hear the pages. Good. Too high a proportion of pre-ferment would make the dough too sour and weaken the gluten network or structure. Most bread recipes, however, will be markedly improved by using a pre-ferment. Simply put, by making a pre-ferment, you will bring out the full flavor potential of the flour. So essentially what it's saying here, to use a pre-ferment, if you were to use a pre-ferment, you end up using less yeast, which is a good thing. You also help hydrate the flour, which helps bring out more of its weedy flavor. And you can essentially use that to enhance the more bready flavors in your bread, whilst also not really adding anything else. Yeast aren't a fungus. Yeast aren't a fungus. Are they? Yeast aren't a fungus. Or just aren't as related to other fungi? I'm not sure. but I'm assuming. Where's Juwon? Where's Juwon? He is the mushroom guru. He is the mushroom guy to talk to. He would know about this stuff. I certainly don't, but he is the mushroom guru. He would probably know if yeast is an actual fungus among us or something like that. There are several types of pre-ferments. They vary mainly by the amount of water they contain. Don't be put off by the strange sounding names: poolish, sponge, starter, or sourdough starter. At first these terms put me off, and I was resolved to avoid them in this book, thinking that the encompassing term starter was all I really needed. But gradually these special words became familiar friends. Alright. Do you want to know the difference between all these things? A pate fermentee, sponges, sourdough starter, biga fermentee, a poolish. Do you want to know what's the difference between all these things? Okay. The easiest way to deepen the flavor of your dough is to simply to save a small piece of the dough from one batch and add it to the end of mixing the next one. So you know, like I gotta make sure that every millennial Zoomer understands this. So have you guys seen the TikTok thing of like doubling? Is either double or send it, keep it or double it to the next person. That's essentially this right now. That's kind of what you do with a pate fermentee, but you don't do that exactly. You take a bit, like a nice little chunk, of your first dough that you make. You save that, maybe like you freeze it or something, and then you throw that same dough into your next bread dough you make. So you're kind of doubling it and sending it to your next dough that you're making, but not really. It's kind of like TikTok. Yeah, so a pate fermentee is essentially just bread, but you're adding bread to make bread squared. So when you add bread to bread, you actually make a better bread. So like, let's say I got a dough of sourdough and I bake the entire thing, but I also for some reason have another chunk of that same dough. So like I make another sourdough and then I throw this dough into that bread, and then that bread now becomes better flavor. It becomes bread squared, so it becomes more bread and more tasty. It's like how wheat and olives are both plants, I guess, but like I feel like it's a better thing probably to say other than wheat and olives is like saying wheat and barley. They're both a wheat crop, but they're both different vastly, you know? I don't need TikTok trends on my mind while I bake Lamel. Well, I don't know. Just don't think of TikTok, it's easy. Just don't think about it. It's easy. Sponges have a stiff consistency. Wow. Very cool. Thank you, book. Poolish. Poolishes are wet and are made the same day. Biga fermentees is an Italian pre-ferment. It's pretty much a small dough. Okay. Not Polish, Poolish. You got an extra O in there. Poolish. Wheat and barley are closely related. Mushrooms and yeast are much more distant. Okay. Sourdough starters, sourdough, levain, or barm are synonym terms. I don't care. But not Poland. Poolish. Poolish. I don't like reading. I want to take a break now. I'm gonna just like not look at this book for 10 seconds here. I'm tired of looking at this book. And here, I'll play with your guys' ears. You like the sound of the pages being flipped? There you go. It's the stream. This is the stream that y'all wanted, right? Laughing at my own. I'm so funny. You're not allowed to be funny, Bush. Stop. I missed the story time. No, we're still in story time technically. We're just reading. We're reading some books. I'm reading a bit of my nonsense, my silly such. My book such, you know? That's some good ASMR. Ah, yes, don't you like the sounds of the books? It makes you think that you're back in school. Or like you're back in as a kindergartner. And you just got back from school. And I'm reading you a book before you go to sleep. But instead of a nice storybook about like the princess in a castle, it's about bread. You want to know about? Okay, so this is how you make bread. Okay, son or daughter, this is how you make bread. So you get temperature of the free ferment, and then you add starter, and then when you refrigerate that pre-ferment, it takes several hours for it to get below 50 F. If it ever becomes cold out of the refrigerator because of the continued fermentation, even at the low, slow rate, produces a small amount of heat. Yes. I hate the texture of paper. I hate the texture of loose leaf paper. Loose leaf paper is incredibly thin and makes me uncomfortable. Like, have you ever touched something that's so incredibly thin that it makes you kind of nervous? Because I know I'm definitely that way with loose leaf. It makes me too worried about it, and I almost have an impulsive feel, an impulsive urge to just eat it. And I don't know why. I just want to eat it. Like, maybe that's just because when I was like younger, I would eat paper before lunchtime because I was just getting hungry and it's like, man, I'm gonna eat my paper. Like, you know, this book about trigonometry or whatever. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just get a little piece of this. Just don't eat paper. I don't eat paper anymore. That was me when I was 5. 5-year-old Salty ate a lot of paper. Not anymore, but used to. When to add starter to a dough. I need to know this. Some bakers add stiff starters such as a biga or pate fermentee to the dough after it's been mixed. They reason that the biga or old dough has already had 5 to 3 minutes of mixing, and it might overmix if added to the beginning. I haven't found this to be true with the small amount of dough I make using home equipment. However, so I add the starter right at the beginning of the dough mixing process. Okay, so it's like you just add it in the beginning. To convert a recipe from using a biga to a sour starter using levain du jour starter. Like, day of starter? What's levain du jour? That's some fancy French stuff, I don't know. Increase the water of the starter to equal the weight of flour in the starter, then subtract that amount from the water used in the rest of the dough. When replacing the yeast, keep in mind that 4.2 ounces to unbleached all-purpose flour requires 1/8 of a teaspoon levain. For example, for a biga starter, using 1/4 of a cup of water and 1/2 of a cup plus 1.5 teaspoons of flour, increase the water to 1/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of water. Replace the 1 1/16 teaspoon of instant yeast with 1.6 times the amount of levain, a slightly rounded 1 1/16 teaspoon. Then use 1 tablespoon less water in the dough. Holy shoot, Batman! That's a lot of words there. Did you just pull a knife? What do you mean? So my Salty ate my homework. You know, I really did actually want to I got so mad at some homework I had once. It was like English homework. But like the thing about English homework is that they teach you useless words that you don't need to learn about. So like you'll learn something like you'll learn a really obscure, stupid word that you'll never use for the rest of your life, and then you get it wrong, and you don't like it because you're basically learning nothing, and you're getting a failing grade because of it. So sometimes I remember I got so mad that I just was so tempted just to eat the entire piece of paper there, right then, right there, because I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. But too much effort, and at that point I was in high school, so so it'd be really weird for like this young adult to just go eat paper. 1/16 of a teaspoon less water. This is a very precise recipe. Yeah, it's very precise. So much so I don't really understand it, because this is like a theoretic number and not like a actual use case of the number. I don't understand the formula. I wish there was an actual formula to try and actually understand here, but it doesn't seem like there's an actual formula. I mean, this probably is the formula of what I just read, but it was a lot of nonsense in words. But I like the word ultimatum. But okay, ultimatum's a good word, but hold on, wait. Let me just go. Okay, so let me tell you. Do you think you'll ever use the word not, nout, or cacophony, or oodles, or Arantius, or cattywampus? Okay, cattywampus is kind of funny. That's a good one. I like cattywampus. But like, do you think you're ever gonna use those words ever in your real life? Nout, like a cow. What? I don't know what a nout is though. Is that a cow? N-O-W-T, yeah. Where did eating paper come from in the conversation? Because the sound of paper, and it made me think of eating paper, so. I'm glad you came over your paper eating addiction. I wasn't addicted. Oh my god. It was just it was literally just a phase. It was a phase of frustration. Of like, yeah. I also was like low-key like, oh jeez, I'm hungry. I gotta just Minecraft eat this paper, like, so that was another thing too. Baking is generally more precise than cooking, right? Yeah, baking, generally speaking, is a lot more of a science and needs more precise measurements. However, maybe I'm just speaking out of my butt here, but I think there needs to be a more simpler formula than that. Even for that was a little bit too complex for my little brain. Maybe that's why I'm not a good enough baker yet, because I just don't understand that such. Yeah, now just giving a whole bunch of percentages and such. Oh boy. Numbers. I don't feel like doing trigonometry. Wow. I used to. Okay, so now I've moved on from point A to the next next chapter about mixing and kneading. Whenever you mix the dough by hand or machine, making dough always begins with mixing together flour, yeast, water, dough starter, if using one, and salt. The salt can kill the yeast when it comes to direct contact with it, so it's best added after you mix the yeast into the flour. Yeah, very important thing if you don't know about baking. Add your salt last, or add it as closely to the end as you can, because salt will kill the yeast instantly. Because if you know what salt does at a microscopic or a chemical level, they draw moisture from things. So yeast needs water to survive, to expand and grow. It's like if there was this magical ingredient in the world that was like as big as you, and then when you put it close to you, it absorbed all your blood, and then when it moved away, you're dead. That's essentially what this salt does to yeast. Like, salt gets close to the yeast and goes like, oh, that's my water now, and then the yeast dies because it dehydrates and dead. So it's kind of like that. Hand versus machine kneading. I used to be a total devotee of hand kneading. I once wrote, not for me a bread machine that would rob me of the pleasure of touching the dough. What changed my mind? King Arthur Flower, another person who felt the same way about hand kneading until she discovered how ideal bread machines or electric mixers are for kneading very sticky doughs. The only kinds of dough that gives you the desirable open hole texture characteristics of certain artisanal type breads. So remember when I talked about how I hate making brioche by hand? This is not just a me thing. It's just like a general idea of like, if you want to make sure you get good gluten development and your dough is really, really sticky, a dough mixer works very, very, just anything, a stand mixer, anything with a dough hook attachment, this works very, very, very well. It just has a lot more power and it can gluten develop things a lot more quickly. Just purely talking about speed and sometimes just overall better product, a mixer beats us 9 times out of 10. Sorry, machines are taking over. Oh hey, look, it tells you the pros and cons of mixing by hand. And by everything, really. Pros. Teaches how to feel the way gluten develops in the dough, avoids overmixing, and avoids overheating the dough. The cons are easy to add too much flour, difficult to achieve adequate development of high gluten doughs, and possible stress and injury to the wrists and arms for kneading. So, basically this is telling you, doing it by hand is the baby way of doing it, but like most things, doing it the baby way is the very important way to do it, because you learn basic fundamentals when it comes to like touching your dough, if it's overmixed, undermixed, and also something I don't mention very often because it doesn't really affect me, overheating. Very, very little times do I actually have that be an issue with my recipes, or just whenever I make bread. Because fun fact, when you're kneading dough, you're creating friction. And with friction becomes temperature, and with temperature is heat. And with heat can actually overmix, it can overproof. No. With heat, it can accelerate proofing of your dough. It can heat it up too much. It's getting into some real precise science such if we go with like how much friction can actually hinder or help a dough, but all you need to know is that that is a thing that you could think about as well. Bread machine. Okay, pros. Doesn't walk on the counter, as some mixers can. Non-stick containers and dough blades make it easy to remove all the dough and to clean as well. Perfectly contained environments to proof the dough. Mix a small amount of dough well. Incorporates a minimum amount of air while mixing. Mixing is with minimal friction, raising the temperature of the dough less than 1 degree Fahrenheit per minute of mixing. So, the cons. It can only handle small amounts of dough. Most models do not have a programmable dough features, and so automatically heats the dough during mixing, causing it to rise faster during the first proof. I've never used a bread machine in my entire life. I've never even seen a bread machine in my entire life. On one hand, I really, 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 really want to try using a bread machine, because I hear it makes some amazing, really amazing, delicious bread. But at the same time, it's like buying a second car. I already have a good stand mixer, and I have my hands above all else. So it's like, do I really need a bread machine just to see if it would make it stuff any better? The answer is yes. Guess what's happening soon? Prime Day. Prime Day is gonna happen. Oh my god, Prime Day is going to happen, lads. And let me tell you, I'm balling out. I'm buying things. I'm gonna buy a bread. I'm gonna go buy a bread oven for my oven. And if you don't know what a bread oven is, hold on, wait. I need to put a little thing in my book here. All right, let me go on Amazon. Bread oven. Bread ovens are essentially cast iron pots, like the one I use for my sour starter and such. But there are some that are perfectly designed for other shapes. Some can be used to be made for Pullman loaves, smaller ones at least. Some can be used for baguettes. Some can be used for more batonettes. Baguettes again. But the thing about the ones I want to get is that they're enclosed. Like, there is a baguette baker that's $174 and hold on, B-A-U-G to baker. These things I really want to get, but they tend to be a little pricey. But these things are good because they're long and they fit the perfect size for baguettes. And the biggest thing about this is that with this kind of thing, it's in an enclosed space. And if you know anything about bread baking in an enclosed space usually will result in a better looking dough. On top of that, the oven I have is garbage and it's not that good. So there's that to keep in mind too. Very difficult to work with, not very good, not very fun to work with too. So there's that. Hi Colo. Hi. Hello. We're talking about bread. We're talking about bread and the pros and cons of the bread things. We're talking about how what are the most ideal ways of breads. I'm reading through it right now. By hand is good. We're at a bread machine we just talked about. Kitchen aids. Okay, that says volume essentially. The kitchen aid have an ice jack. Okay, it's for like that's just an attachment for temperature control. Works very well with sticky doughs. You can lower and raise the bowl, I guess. Oh yeah, it moves. So with a KitchenAid mixer, if you use it, it moves when you mix it too much. And mixing can raise it up a few degrees of temperatures, which I still don't personally see any issue with it. But yeah, I made bread once. It was a lot of fun. Want to make more? You should make more. Bread is easy to make. Bread is good to make. You should make bread. Bread is good for you. Bread is good for the soul. Make some bread. Do it. It's good. It's good for you. Speaking of making bread, I actually want to make some bread tomorrow because who's and what's it's I want to make some nice I want to make a nice country loaf and or sourdough because I've made some corn chowder recently and I've been really dying to have some like nice good fresh bread with it. So definitely want to try and make some bread for my soup. Though I'm not sure if I want to make a country loaf or a sour loaf because the sour loaf is going to have better flavor and the color and this and that and blah 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 blah. But a country loaf is simpler, easier, and quicker to make too. So, I digress though. Alright. You can also use a food processor apparently. But, I've never used a food processor to make a dough before, and little did I know that was a thing. But if you don't know, food processor, speed, speed, speed. That is pretty much that's the only reason why you would use food processor. But the dough overheats the liquid unless the dough overheats the. With how fast it's going and how much friction is being created when you process it like that, you create a lot more heat, and that heat has the chance to kill off more yeast, I guess. So there's that. And too soft a dough will lift the blade up and or be hard to remove from the working bowl. Now we're getting some of the weird things though. There's a lot of like really strange. I don't care about. You know what? Never mind. I don't care about these things. There's apparently something called a spiral mixer and an Electrolux magic mill. I feel like this is some old boomer machines. Who cares about that such? How to determine when the dough is adequately kneaded. Pulling the dough to test elasticity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this too already. The best way to tell when a dough is like really nicely kneaded and ready to be baked. Well, not to be baked, but like when you've developed enough gluten, is doing the window pane test to where you stretch the dough and you can stretch it thin enough to where you can see through it, but it doesn't tear. That's good gluten development, yada yada. Don't need to speak that much more. This shows a picture of shaping. You cannot see it because I don't have a camera set, and I do not want to set one because I am lazy. I should look into this though, because it shows a better shaping. And if you know anything about me, one difficulty I have with bread baking and whatnot is shaping. I'm not very good at shaping my breads. But they taste good, so that's all that matters. Describe it for the visually impaired. Okay, so what this guy is doing, he's stretching the dough into a rectangle-shaped piece, and then it's folding on itself 3 times on a trifold, and then from that trifold, it's putting the top to the bottom, making another fold, and then another fold will be made halfway through the middle to make it into another rectangle. So you're just condensing it into a smaller rectangle. It's one rectangle into another rectangle, into another rectangle, into another rectangle, into another rectangle. Also, I just need to make a list. I really need to make a list right now of like things I need to buy, because Prime Day is coming. It is coming quick, and I need to just write down things that I want to buy. One of the things I want to buy, I want to buy a dough rising container, so a Cambro. Cambros. Let's see. Bread baking vessels. Go away, ad. Bread baking vessels. What else? Oh, I need a new hand blender. Immersion blender. Oh yeah, a proofing box. Proofing boxes are like an extreme luxury to have, honestly. I wanted to try to make a proofing box before, but I was honestly a little too lazy to make it. That, and also for me to make, me making a proofing box. Just too lazy. I mean, the best thing for a proofing box is just a box. There is a way you can make a proofing box with like a humidifier and whatnot, but lazy. There's some ones to where there's like there's some actually some fun things you can actually look at. I just gotta keep an eye out when Amazon comes around. I mean, when Prime Day comes around, because it looks like there's a few of them, some good ones. Alright. Dividing and pre-shaping the dough, overnight fermenting, shaping the dough. Ah, yes, shaping the dough. The hardest thing to do. Flattening the dough. Draw up the edges into the center, pinching the edges so on the top of the dough together at the top. Then putting it down and letting it rotate in a circular motion. Yes, that's how you do a circle. That's how you do a circle shape. Oh my god, look, that's a rectangular shape. You can't see it if you're visually impaired. You're like everyone else because no one else can see what it looks like. Yeah! There's this one about shaping a baguette, though. Perhaps I should make a baguette sometime. Yeah, I don't understand how to make baguettes yet. I'm not very good at it. This one's showing how you make a 4-braided loaf, which are a pain. Single strands. Dough shaped equipment, which are loaf pans. Batonettes. Oh, you know, I want to get more batonettes. I want to get some nice, pretty ones to where it's like a willowed. Benettons. Benettons. I don't know. I'm not French. I can't pronounce it. But I definitely want to. I definitely want to make more pretty looking breads in the sense that a lot of my breads are very rustical looking, but you know, like the breads that have that nice cool spiral, I want to get this other specific basket that really flourishes with that, because the baskets I currently have are cloth lined and they're intended to be used with the cloth. They're not intended to be used without the cloth and don't really work too well. They work good enough, but at the same time, the willowed ones are a little bit more perfectly designed. So. It's kind of funny, now it's showing like some scoring designs you can do. And it's funny, to do a score, it's very simple. The glazing. Ugh. Types of glazes. A crisp plus uses water. A powdery, rustic chewy is flour. And the soft velvety crust is with butter. Ah, wow. Personally, I like to use a bit of water. This is pretty much just describing like, oh yeah, what are some like ways you can make your crust of your bread look better, like egg washes, water and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I've ever done it on stream, but there's times where it's like I want to make sure my bread is really, really crusty. So to make your bread crusty, you want to inspire a lot more steam production. So by doing that, you can actually get a spray bottle, which I have, and then spraying your dough with a little water on top, and it imbues more steam and makes more crust and crunch and color and all that sort of such, you know. Now it's talking about now it's all talking about egg washes, yellow washes, white washes, all that sort of such. So white washes are using the egg whites. They add shine, less color. A whole egg wash is the best of both worlds of the yolk of a yellow wash and a white wash. And a yellow wash or yolk wash is essentially just the egg yolks. It has a lot more color, but less shine. Okay. Yeah. Oh, finally, I'm done reading. Okay. We're done going through all the nitty and gritty when it comes to stuff like that. So, oh, this is about quick breads. Okay. Okay, so do we want to continue on with this book and be talking about it and reading it, or do we want to actually go to a different book? Maybe you want to learn about cooking? Maybe you want to know about some really funny, funky things you do with cooking? Or maybe we can go to another Bred book. I don't know. Or we can stay with reading this one. The choice is all yours, chat. I'm the library today, and now you can choose what book you want to read if you want to change at all. I'm fine with whatever, it's up to you. Okay, well, I honestly want to try and change books, but if anyone else has a suggestion, you're more than welcome to suggest away. Ooh, wait a minute, that looks so good. Oh, there's a popover. Oh, I've never made them before, but I wanted to try to. Crumpets with clotted cream and honey. You know, I've never made crumpets before. But there's this, oh my god, that looks delicious. There is a pizza rest. There is a perfect pizza with steamed clams and ricotta. If you don't know, I'm a sucker for seafood and shellfish. So like putting clams on a pizza sounds kind of good. And also with a bit of ricotta. Sounds kind of nice. Now, this is also not your traditional like slice of pizza, so it's not. Don't be like, oh my god, it's so weird. Add clams on a pizza like that. It's not that kind of pizza. It's a kind of different pizza. Throw them in an RNG machine. You know, it's funny that you talk about RNG because I actually have. I'm not sure you can hear it right now, but I actually have a bag full of dice. I think I have a D4. Yeah, I do have a D4. Alright, so here's the dealio then. With this roll, I'm gonna roll a D4. And if the following number is 1, we're gonna stay with the book. If the following number is 2, we're going to Bred Illustrated. 3 is the Flavor Bible, and 4 is the bread from La Bred Bakery. Alright? Alright. I hope you were keeping track of that, because I wasn't. Okay, here you go. 4. What's 4? I think that's the illustrated book. Here, let's go look at that then. Or do we want to re-roll that? Do we want to re-roll the stats for the book we're gonna go for? Here, let me just do another re-roll, just in case. If it's a 4 again, well, you know it's just meant to be. It's 4 again. That's so funny. Okay, well, it's just meant to be. On to the next book of stuff here. Nancy Silverton's Bread from La Bred Bakery. Wow, someone from 2007 used this book. Jesus. This book was still being used in a library in 1996. This thing's old, man. Yeah, wait, looks like, yeah, this book's been through it. This thing's old, super old. older than most people I know. At least not as old as Mip, because Mip is apparently now 69 years old. What an old hag. The elements of Bred. Oh, I don't want to go through it again. You can't make me. No. I'm just gonna skip to a thing that interests me. The elements of Bred, tools for getting started, lessons in bread making. I'm gonna just skip to that. Alright. 31. Oh wow, those are weird numbers. Okay. 31. The starter, 14 days. The starter is, of course, the essential element of sourdough bread baking, and it does take 14 days to raise this starter from scratch. 9 to grow the culture, and 5 to build the starter to strengthen you need to bake a loaf of bread. What's in a sour starter? Nothing more is necessary than flour and water, which attracts wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. I also add grapes, an abundant source of these wonderful flora. But don't be put off. You only have to grow a starter once. After that, as long as you feed and maintain it, your starter is ready to use over and over again anytime you feel like baking for the rest of your natural life. Fun fact: you could die and the sour starter could still be alive. You just have to make sure that your kids and their kids and their kids and their kids just make sure they maintain the sour starter. Bread can outlive people. Remember that. We're all fleshy beings. However, bread can live forever. Growing the culture, I don't care. Fermentation continues, I don't care. Refresh the culture. Building the starter. I already have a sour starter. What's the difference? Oh, this is also talking about what happens when your sour starter's too sour. Usually when your sour okay, if there's ever a chance where your sour starter is like smelling sour, that usually is an indication of it being sick. So the best way to fix it in that regard, which is what this book is confirming, is to actually give it some rye flour. Rye flour has a lot of good bran protein and stuff like that that's really healthy for sour starter yeast. So giving it rye flour is like giving it like drugs. Or until your starter gets mold or something. Yes, the element of Bred. Carbon, hydrate, and oxide. Yes. Yeah. You know what's funny to say? You know what's funny to talk about? You know what's fun? What's a fun thing to talk about when it comes to bread? An interesting thing when I talk about my bread. I'm still 1-0 with my bread. Like, you know how a lot of people say, oh no, my sour starter died like 5 days ago, and I threw it out, and this and that and that and this. I have not lost my starter at all. My sourdough I have right now and continue to use is the same sourdough I used when it was 2019. Same sour starter. Never lost it. Never died. I've had to intentionally try to kill it because it was too active, if anything. So it's kicking. It's doing good. It's a good little sour starter, let me tell you. Hi Sus Dione. Hi Sus. Hello. Halar. Hi Ice Phoenix, by the way. I didn't say hi to you too. My death isn't a fun fact, Salty. Listen, fun fact, we all die. Fun fact, Sai, we die in the end of the day. But you know what's a good more fun fact? Bread does not die. Bread is eternal and will always be here. For you, and for your kids, and your kids' kids. Bread is the way of life. Remember that. Okay. We don't know that. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. But when it happens... Hi, Salmon. Hello. Bread is the bread of life? No, bread is life. Life is bread. If we... I think I've been on this tangent before, but like humanity has lived and thrived off bread. I've talked about this, I think, but like if bread did not exist, humanity as we know it would not exist. Bread is such a staple for paupers, for people who were poor, for the people who were rich, and like people probably nowadays even. Because, you know, back in the day, in the old days, people would just eat off bread and live on bread and beer every single day, bread and beer, maybe some meat, but like bread. If we did not have bread, humanity would not exist. Humanity would die. Bread is so important for us. It is essential for agriculture, right? Yes, exactly. If you were to get rid of bread, if you were to get rid of bread, there would be an extreme crisis among the entire earth. If you got rid of apples, who cares? As painful as it sounds to say, because I love apples and they're my favorite fruit. But who cares? If you lose apples, it's whatever. But if you lose bread, that's a huge thing. That's like, okay, you know what? Get rid of rice. Rice is such a staple in food and cuisine, just like how bread is. Once the bagel was invented, there was never a better invention. You know what's a better invention than just a bagel? A sliced bagel. Sliced bread, even. Which is kind of a funny thing to think about. But it honestly, think about how sliced bread is kind of an invention in a way. Because back in the day, people didn't really care about slicing or cutting bread. They would just eat bread, like, as a whole thing. They just go like, yeah, and just eat the entire thing just like that. Like a barbarian. So yeah. So if I become bread, I become immortal? Yes. That's essentially what I'm saying. If you become bread, you become immortal. As a bush, outlive every one of you? Well, bush, that doesn't count, because you still technically die. Like, when a bush, like, if plants die, and their roots are still in the ground, and they regenerate, you still technically die, because that's not the same plant you were last year. You just regenerated from the roots. So unless you're talking about yourself being the roots, which you kind of are, but that's like saying like, oh yeah, my feet are just as human as me. No. The reason why we're human is because of the whole package. Not just because of our feet, not because of our brains, arms, legs, body, face, I guess, arms, chest, all that stuff. Blah. Stuffing bread into face. Oh my god, you know. Okay. Oh, wait. You made... Okay, so... I don't know why, but I need to make an emote of this. If you know, this is a TF2 meme, but this is a funny meme. But I want to make this as an emote now. Do you know this meme? Gentlemen? So imagine this, but instead of cigarettes, it's just bread. I kind of want to make that into an emote. That'd be kind of funny. I'm gonna write that down on the list. Mental gen? Yeah! This guy knows! This guy knows! Oh my god. I'm gonna give you VIP for 10 seconds. I'm gonna give you VIP for 10 seconds. My man. I do not know how to give you VIP for 10 seconds. Okay, never mind. We'd still be hunter and gatherers, XD. That is true, we would probably still be hunter and gatherers to a point, but at the same time, we're not really hunting and gathering anymore. Because now we're humans and we're like, we make things now, so, nah. Stuffing bread into face emotes, nah. Cubed sugar was a good invention. No more loafed sugar. Ship of Theseus argument? I don't know. Hunter-gatherer, hunter-hunter. We pours Argarian AF. I don't know what Argarian is. Bread and beer. Basically the food of my nationality. Are you French? Or English? Like England? Not English from like English, but like England? I don't know. I also feel that like meat, just being able to eat meat, if that were to went away, life, not just humanity would go away. Argarian is agriculture. Okay. Listen, I don't know these funny fancy words you people say sometimes. I'm too stupid. I'm a baker. I make the good breads. I don't do them English very good. But yeah, like if you're saying like, what do you mean by like, oh yeah, meat's gonna go away? Like, when you say that meat does not exist, do you mean like, because technically we're meat right now, we're just alive meat, you know? Meat is a very broad term to use, you know? Okay, actually, why are none of the redeems working? Hold on. Wait, let me restart my, mix it up. Hold on, sorry guys. Sorry lads. If you want to read books about history of bread, I highly recommend Stephen J. Capon books, Bread Professor Guy and Conan. I mean, I'm interested in bread history, but I kind of already know the gist of it, you know? Not to say I'm not interested in it. It's just more like, I don't know, it's really, what else is there to know? Probably more or less the upbringing of bread and its existence and such. But other than that, I'm not really sure what else would really be notable, if you will. Like, if anything, the thing that's really notable in my head would probably be... What is it? Oh, okay, cool. The redeems are working now. Let me just redeem those redeems. What's the hat one? Oh, is that the... Oh, that removes my hat, and you want to take my glasses off. Okay. Heck yeah. Have you ever seen Tasting History with Max Miller? I have not seen that. I don't really watch TV too much anymore, so... if we couldn't eat meat, rather, if meat wasn't edible, everything changed when the bread... Exactly! So much happened when bread existed. Because the thing about what bread did... Did I just drop my thing? The revolutionary thing about what bread did... The revolutionary thing about what bread does to us as a race of humans is that we changed from being hunter and gatherers to actually being able to settle down and sit down in a specific area. So you didn't need to hunt and gather as much as you wanted. You could just sit down in one area, live the rest of your life there, eating bread. And that's revolutionary, because then you don't have to hunt and gather every single day of your life. Call me lazy, but I don't think everyone wants to move from one place to another place to another place to another place. So yeah. Good background YouTube series about cooking in the old days. Oh, you see, I actually watched some historical food channels. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the if I can find the channel name. My background is Portuguese. I've also watched a lot of Good Eats with Alton Brown. I loved it. Science, history, comedy-based cooking show. I'll have to look this up then. I've never heard of it. There's also Hurting Animals, but whatever. Listen, but what do you need to do for herding animals? If you herd animals, you need something to feed them. So when you make agriculture, you're probably gonna make wheat and stuff like that, feed. So it just all comes back around to agriculture. And the agriculture is wheat. So, herding animals? No, murdering animals. But actually, I watch a lot of Townsend and such, which is where I actually do find a majority of my old Bred such. But Townsends, they are a good YouTube channel. They do a lot of a lot of old style, a lot of, what's the word? Rustic. Old-fashioned food. Well, they also eat grass, but yeah, well, that is true. They probably do eat, they do eat grass, but what's more nourishing for them? Grass or grain, you know? And also, what happens when winter comes over? Where's the grass then? Where's the grass in the wintertime? You gotta worry about that. You gotta worry about feeding your animals during the wintertime. Yeah, grass still does exist, but there's not much of it. Huh. Ever thought about that? But here, I'm gonna search up Good Eats right now. I'm gonna go subscribe and then go watch it later. I'll watch it later. Man, isn't it kind of okay, so I'm looking down and I see macaroni and cheese. Real talk here. Real talk. Can we talk about how amazingly weird it is to think about how macaroni and cheese, braised greens, fried chicken, and all that sort of stuff was technically poor people food? That was kind of impoverished food. Ooh, smoked brisket, barbecue in general. Isn't it kind of amazing to realize how that stuff used to be impoverished food? That wasn't supposed to be like, oh, this food's like a good occasion food, or this and that and that and this. Isn't it kind of interesting to know that that stuff was actually impoverished food? Silly, of course. XD, I'm gonna head to bed. Good night, guys. Good night, Phoenix. Good night, good night, good night. Wasn't lobster in the same boat for a while? Yes. Lobster was in the same boat for a while. It was actually, yeah, lobster was being served to a prisoner. It was used to be food for prisoners. But the issue with that is because people would be fed like dead lobsters. So getting fed dead lobsters is like getting fed poison. So that's the reason why I believe lobster wasn't so sought after. Wasn't until like, what is it? I forgot who made lobster thermidor, but until like people started to realize that lobster tastes good if you actually cook it correctly. That was pretty much when lobster started to grow and become this huge thing. Which, oh my god, you know, it's kind of funny to think about lobster because today at my work today, I actually had to kill lobsters. I was actually gonna take a video about it, but at my job we do an event every single Thursday, and we do a lot of lobsters. We kill a lot of lobsters. We essentially fabricate 300 lobsters for one night. So it's called Lobster Night, go figure. But I was the only one that was available to get all that started. So when I had to fabricate the lobsters, I want to let you know that I'm a cold-blooded killer. I've killed 300 lobsters today. I tore off their tails. I tore off their claws, and then I took their head and threw it on the trash can. Wow. I killed 300 lobsters. I committed minor genocide. Yeah. I killed them. They're dead. I've killed all lobsters, and then I had to split their tails and cook their claws and this and that. So, well, no, not my sea friends. Listen, salmon, you say that, but lobsters will kill you. Alright? Lobsters eat you. You got a good you got a lot of residue soul you got a lot of residual soul experience from that. Good job. The dark soul. The killing lobsters, is that just like the dark souls of cooking them? I've never been killed by a lobster. Neither have I. I've killed lobsters. I think at this point, my kill count for lobsters is probably around 3 times 4. Probably in the 5,000s. I think, if I did my math correctly. Because every single month, because it's open only a few times in the year, but like at minimum in a month, we're killing off probably 3 times 4, so that's 300, 600, 900, 100, 1,200. But I've done that a whole bunch last year, and then I did some this year. I started. So technically, with how it's for 3 months, that's like 3,600, and then I did some more this year. Yeah, I've done probably around 5,000. I've killed 5,000 lobsters in my entire lifetime. And I've only eaten 10. I kill more than I eat. Wow. I am scared now. You should be, salmon. I kill sea life for a living and get paid for it. Lobster and I have a pretty brutal matchup. Honestly, they need a serious buff. Hazer here is talking about lobsters. Yeah, lobster. Do you kill any other animals in the kitchen? Clams, if you count clams. Flies. Pests, rats, mice, I don't know, stuff like that. Lobsters, fish. You know, just, we kill everything. Everything. If it moves, it's been killed. Maybe even people, but I'm not sure about that, and I'm not really sure. But I wouldn't be surprised. You got rats in the kitchen? Of course, we got Remy. We got Remy in the kitchen. He helps. He helps. Remy, he helps with like sous chefing and all this and that, you know. No, we don't got rats in the kitchen. I'm just thinking of like things like flies, I guess, like oranges. The Rat of Two Lies. That's a fun play on words. I'll give you that. That's a fun play on words. Ratatouille, Rat of Two Lies. I like it. The Baby Clan segment with the walrus and the Alice in Wonderland cartoon movie really messed me up as a kid. I don't remember that. I'm not sure if I really remember a whole lot of Alice in Wonderland, but I don't remember that bit. I am trying to think, what other things do we kill in the kitchen? It's mostly just shellfish. We kill a lot of shellfish. And, yeah. Lobsters and I have a pretty brutal matchup, though, and they need a serious buff. I mean, to be fair, it's probably because they have a low intel stat. I literally freed a lobster today, like I took his rubber bands off, and then I gave him my knife. He actually was swinging it around, which was kind of making me want to actually videotape it, because it was kind of funny. But, despite getting close to him, and despite giving him the chance to stab me, he kind of just, like, went, like, plah. Just, like, went plah on my, like, apron, and he barely made a dent. Let it be known that I got stabbed by a lobster, but he didn't make an incision. In fact, I took his arms. I took his claws and took back my knife and then shoved it right in his head hole. Rah. They personified the clams like they were babies, and the walrus wanted to eat them. I can see how that's being traumatizing. Yeah. Lobsters are pretty tough enemies in Elden Ring. Well, we're not in Elden Ring at the moment. We are in real life. Okay, I'm looking through the book again because that's what I'm doing. Kneading by hand, you don't have to worry about over mixing. Wow. Shaping a boule. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much what I know what to do. Yep. Cutting a boule. Yep. Plastic wrap. Yep. Shaping a baguette. Cutting a baguette. Chapeau rolls. Other roll shapes. Walnut bread. You know, I see a lot of walnut bread recipes, and whenever I look back in like bread books, that walnut bread and olive oil bread, olive breads, walnut breads, stuff like that. Fun fact: I'm not sure if you know, but if you put in raw walnuts into your bread will actually become blue. There's some weird chemical reaction stuff that happens when it interacts with each other, but it can make your bread purple or blue. Safe to eat, but it's weird to look at. So if you ever put walnuts into your bread, toast them all first. What is olive bread? I hope there's not olives in it. I hope it's just like olive oil. 1 pound and 2. Okay, cool water, white starter. Raw wheat flour. Ooh, that's cool. Ew, Kalamala olives. Oh, that's disgusting. Ugh. Why would we not want blue bread? Because blue bread looks weird. Blue is just... So I'm not sure about you, but I don't like blue food. Blue food makes me anxious. And that's solely because, like, in nature and stuff like that, blue does not really exist naturally. Like, think of it, really think about that. Think about what I just said. What in nature is naturally blue? What in nature is naturally blue? Naturally blue. Blueberries? Blueberries are not blue. They are purple. Or indigo. They are not blue. Water and oxygen? Oxygen is clear. It is not blue. Water, that is the reflection of the sky. If you get water in a jar, what do you see? You see translucent. You don't see color. Blue does not exist in nature. Naturally. Normally. And if it does exist in nature, it is a mutation. Really think about it. Really think about what is something that is not a mutation. Blue. Liquid oxygen does a weird thing where it is sometimes blue. Sometimes blue, but it's an abnormally. What is something that is naturally blue? Natural. It's very minimal. Water isn't blue because of the sky. It really is slightly blue. Bush, I'm looking at my Brita filter. I'm looking at my Brita filter right now. It is clear. I'm looking at the water in my... I'm gonna look water. So wait, if I look at the water in my water bottle, my metal water bottle, does that mean my water's gray? Radiation? I think that can be blue. But radiation is not natural. Radiation, like if you're talking about like nuclear radiation, is human intervention. But water is blue because it's just a reflection of the sky. They both slightly have hues of blue, otherwise the blue color comes from nothing. Lots of radiation is natural. Like if we're talking about UVs are usually purple, not blue. main point here, the main point I'm trying to tell you here is that blue does not occur in nature very often, and if you ever see food that is blue, in my head, whenever I see blue food, I think it either has to be a dessert, or it's moldy, or something like that. Like, if I gave you a chicken breast and it was blue, you would be kind of terrified, because you might think it's NyQuil chicken. Or if I give you a thing of bread and it's blue, you might think it's cake, or it might be moldy. Like, blue is not exactly a very appetizing color. So, you know. Which is kind of funny to think about, because by that means, brown is like very, appetizing. White is appetizing. White is not even a color, it's just like a shade, really. But, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Colors are weird. Like, don't get me wrong, when you get something that looks blue and it's pretty and this and that, it's pretty to look at, but, like, a blue is not exactly the most appetizing thing to look at. Unless it's Gatorade. Because blue Gatorade exists. And I don't know what the flavor is of it still. Like, what is blue Gatorade? What is the flavor of blue? It's not blueberry, because, like, there's separate flavors for blueberry, but what's blue? What does blue taste like? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about, like, oh man, this tastes like blue? You ever just think about that? Why does it taste blue? Artificial blue color. Exactly. But what is artificial blue color? What is that taste? What is blue? That's like saying, oh yeah, it's red flavored. Red, you can usually say that red flavor is either cherry or strawberry or something among that. But what the heck is blue flavor? Really? What is blue? What does blue taste like? It's not blueberry, because blueberry is a separate thing. But what the heck does blue taste like? You ever think about that? I don't know, but I've tasted it. Exactly. It's one of those weird things that everyone has tasted blue before, but they cannot describe what blue tastes like. It just simply said, it tastes like blue. Potato dill bread. You know, I think that might be my next venture of kind of breads that we might make. Maybe that's something we will do for next week. No, not next week, when we make this bread recipe. I haven't made a good potato bread yet. And honestly, I think potato bread's kind of overrated. So maybe we make a potato. Yes? I wish you luck on Blue is Not Real campaign. It's not real! Blue is not real! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake, I tell you! It's not real! In nature, at least. Just a potato. A blue potato! Blue potatoes don't exist! They're not real! It's a conspiracy made by the government. They're not real. Blue is not real. No government, they've been lying to you. It does not exist. Onion bread. Parmesan cheese. Oh, cheese bread, you know. Yeah, that's another bread I need to make. Just like a cheese bread. Like a bread with just cheese in it. A cheese bread and a potato bread. I don't know. Yeah, cheese bread is definitely one of those kind of breads where it's like you don't really make it, you don't really get it. But if you somehow get yourself a cheese bread, it's a good bread. Oh, and breadsticks too. Ooh, breadsticks. I need to make breadsticks. I haven't made a recipe for breadsticks. I haven't made a recipe for potato bread. I haven't made a recipe for cheese bread. Things to work on. Things to work on. hamburger buns. Those are brioche buns I make. Let's see, sourdough. Semolina sandwich rolls. Ugh, I don't like semolina bread. You can make bread with semolina flour, which is the same flour you use to make pasta. But in my head, I can't get my head around that. It's always weird. Oh, here, wait. I'm gonna just write down on another piece of paper here. Just breads I need to like make. So, potato bread. Potato bread. What other breads was I talking about? What, cheese bread. I also need to make, ciabatta. Ciabatta is a very difficult bread for me to make, so that's a bread I need to make. What was the other bread I was talking about? Hamburger, sour. Oh yeah, just seeded bread. I'll look into making that. Seeded breads and bran breads. I'll look into that. They're cool. They're cool. Pumpkin bread. That's just a cake. Pumpkin bread. Don't be lied to. It is just bread. It's cake. Levain Batard. Ah, yes, the Batard. You know what's funny? Batard is actually French for bastard, I believe. I don't know why it's called that. But at the same time, I don't care. Decorated bread. You know, if there's something to give this starter to, this bread book too, something that I think, out of anyone I know in this world, that would know how to do with bread and such. I really think that we all know Mrs. Minna Vanilla herself. I think she would like this book. Just because this book utilizes a lot of this book utilizes a lot of starter. It doesn't use any commercial yeast, which I'm wanting to move away from. But I might have to look back into the other book prior to learn how to actually implement it. Then I still want to experiment with it a bit more. Bread is just a very finicky thing to work with, and starter among that is very finicky to work with as well. So it's like, gotta figure out how to work with it. Pretzels. Oh man, okay, wait, I'm just really curious about something. I'll laugh. I'll 100% laugh if I can do something like this. Because something I actually went to recently, I went to a mall recently, and I went to a mall with my parents. But the thing about this mall is that they had Aunt Annie's. So if anyone knows what Aunt Annie's is, it's that pretzel thing. It's that little thing of pretzels that they have. It's a little pretzel stop that you go to. And I know I have this stigma. I know I have this thing of like saying, oh my god, I don't like buying bread. I can't buy bread. I don't even like buying bagels even. But I have not been able at all to execute a proper pretzel recipe. And I am fine with that, honestly. Aunt Annie's pretzels, I don't know what they put in it, but it's so good. It's incredible. I don't know what they do with it. They probably put so many chemicals in it, along the fly, but it's so good. It does not need to be that good. Wait, can I actually get Aunt Annie's? It'll be really funny if I can get Aunt. Oh my god, I can! Auntie Anne's! Oh my god, you can get that on DoorDash. It's crazy. Oh my god, that's so funny. You can get Aunt Annie Aunt. Well, you can Annie Aunt. Okay, it's Auntie Anne's. Sorry, I've been saying it wrong my entire life. You can get Auntie Anne's. Oh my god, it's awesome. Wait, really? Wait, where can you get Aunt? Where's the closest one? I need to go to them. Wait, where can I get to this? Where can I get one? Okay, where can I find one? Oh my god, it's so close actually. Oh, I didn't know. Oh wait, it's right. Oh, it's right when I get off work too. Oh my god, that's so funny actually. Oh, that's awesome. I never knew there was an Auntie Anne's, Auntie's Anne's. Oh my god. It's so close. It's near a salad station. It's near a salad place too. A salad station. Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh, it's hilarious. I love that. Oh my god. But like, I don't know how they do it. Auntie Anne's. It's so buttery and like perfectly balanced with sweetness. Like, it's not overbearingly sweet. The original pretzel has the perfect amount of salt. It's buttery, and it also has an amazing balance of sweet, but not overbearingly sweet that I'm thinking of eating candy. It's just like a nice subtle sweet that I kind of get faked out with like a natural sweetness of a bread. It's kind of wild in my head of how it's like they're so god dang good, and there's no right for it to be this good. I hate it, but they're unnecessarily good, and I don't know why. They're so freaking good. But I gotta say, $7 for a pretzel, that's a bit steep. If I actually, wait, I wanna go actually look real quick. Because I bought like so many pretzels in like real life. Well, not in real life, from this place. AB Pretzel Inc. Yeah, the pretzel I bought was $5. I'm paying $2 more for the same pretzel. Oh man, this economy. Economy. You get the idea. A simple, buttery, and salty pretzel. Okay, well, I think I know what I need to probably do. I definitely gotta make a pretzel stream. We got to do an Auntie Anne's pretzel special because, like, I love pretzels. You can't beat. Okay. It's so hard to beat their pretzels because they're just so perfect. They're light, but they still have a bit of density. They're slightly sweet. They're incredibly buttery too. It's unfair how good they are. It's unfair. It does not. I do not understand why they're so good, but it's unfair. All right, pretzels. Auntie Anne pretzels. That's gonna be a stream someday. Mark my words. Oh, so you don't boil them though, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, so there's this copycat recipe of Auntie Anne's pretzels, and oh, I'm intrigued. Oh, I'm very intrigued. I might have to. I love pretzels so much. Yeah, like, honestly, like, bagels are good, but pretzels bring out a carnal instinct in me of like, it's a fresh pretzel. It's like getting a fresh bagel. A fresh bagel is divine. It is delicious. It is crisp. It is like crunchy on the outside, fluffy and warm on the inside. It's amazing. A warm, fresh bagel, top tier. But Auntie Anne's pretzels are always warm. They're buttery and mildly like sweet. It's just a perfect balance of everything. It's just unfair how good they are. It's unfair, and I don't like it because it's just so simple, but they're so good. Ah. You know what? I might do a gorilla baking stream, honestly. I might do a gorilla baking stream. Who knows? Like, what is it? I don't have anything planned Thursday. Maybe we do a gorilla baking stream doing Auntie Anne's pretzels? Ooh, that'd be fun. Man, I'm actually so like hyped over pretzels. Pretzels so good. I love pretzels. I love bread. I love carbs. Carbs are great. Like, especially with like the breads. Oh yeah, I need to write that down. Breadsticks. I want to make a breadstick recipe. But breadsticks, that'd be good too. Breadsticks are good to have, and then if I do a breadstick stream, then maybe we do fresh pasta. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Because I make fresh pasta without egg, because I'm a cheap bastard at actually, no, we're not gonna say bastard, because that's a bad word to say. We're gonna say batard. On brand! Yeah! I'm a stingy batard, and I don't feel like using an egg for pasta. It might be more authentic, it might be more this and that, but I'm gonna go out and say that using water is actually more authentic, because where did pasta come from? The Asias. They came from the Chinas, and they did not use egg, because egg was such a sought after ingredient. They used water. The macaroni. Do you know what macaroni actually is? Macaroni is not just a shape of pasta, but macaroni is also a style of pasta, because macaroni is technically a pasta dough without any egg. Fun fact. So yeah. I'm not sure if I blew your mind there, but like, technically speaking, pasta made with egg is pasta dough, but then pasta dough made with just water is macaroni. Did you know that? Hope you do. Hope you do now. You do now. You know now. Okay, wait. Frick. I just want to also show this too, because this picture of the copycat recipe looks actually really awesome. Look at those pretzels though! They look so good. It's not fair. Chat, it's not fair. I have not been able to replicate I have not been able to make pretzels. I have a hard time making pretzels. So very difficult. Very difficult. I'm gonna buy pretzel salt now. I might never use it ever again. But I want pretzel salt so I can have the chance to make pretzels. I need this in my life, chat. You don't understand. I need this. No way, that's 2-day shipping. I don't want 2-day. I need it now. I need it now. I need it tomorrow, not Friday. Actually, wait. Tomorrow's Thursday. I could make it Friday. Maybe. Pretzel making stream? Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely probably do a pretzel baking stream. Definite. Maybe. It most likely would happen. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wait, if I just buy... I'm worried about, like, oh yeah, I don't have a container to put the salt. I forgot. I have, what is it? I have salt. I have containers to put it. Stupid. I'm stupid. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do a pretzel making stream. I'm dying for some pretzels. It's just the thought of it. Love pretzels. I like myself a nice, sweet, buttery, salty pretzel. Alright, so enough pretzel talk. Let's get into one more book, yes? Alright, so I'm gonna roll this D4 again. Currently it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 4 again. Let's see. What book we gonna read next? We're not reading 4. I refuse. Oh my god, it fell on the floor and it still hit 4. I refuse. We're not reading the same one again. No, I refuse. We're not playing the same one again. Okay. Okay. Stop going for 4. 3. Alright, so you guys want to talk about cooking? Trying to fight fate. I control fate. This is my stream. I get to control. It's my turn to control fate. It's my stream and I get to control the fate of what we do. Wow. Lots of books. Bookage. I can sway fate into my favor. It's called re-rolling. Okay, well, this will be our last book that we look into for the day. And this is The Flavor Wine. It is a really good book to look into. Because it doesn't just talk about food specifically. It talks about, like... It talks about cuisine to a point as well. Though it's kind of an old book, so it does not talk about more prominent cuisines nowadays. Like, if I go to K... I-H... Hungarian cuisine, Italian cuisine, J... Oh, shoot! Wait, there is Korean cuisine. Oh my god, that's crazy. It's not very big, though. But this book has, like, everything you would ever need to know about any kind of food. Or at least a very large almanac, or encyclopedia, if you will, of food. Like, anyone, tell me a food. Just tell me a food. It does not matter what kind of food, just tell me a food that you like to eat. Actually, here, just because it's in my mind, let me look up pretzels. I don't think pretzels is something that you can... P-E... No. Pretzels. P-E... Pepperoni. My good pal. L... polenta. Pork. O-P-Q-R... Nope. I don't think there is pretzels. Pork ribs. Portuguese. O-P-Q-R-E-E-A-E-I... Yeah, no pretzels. Pepperoni is food? Yeah, pepperoni is good food. They are good food. Onigiri. Okay, so I guess I should be a bit more specific. let's talk about less of a dish. Let's talk about ingredients, not food, ingredients. But hash brown, smoked salmon. Smoked salmon. Thank you, Nelf. Smoked salmon. Hold on. Let me do a bit of scrolling through the book here. HILMNOP Q B Q R from parsley, shellfish, shisho leaves, what is it? Skate, what'd you say? Smoked salmon? LMNOP, smoked salmon. OLMLMMM, shrimp. JK, slow cook, snap, smoked salmon. Oh, okay. There is a thing for smoked salmon. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised there's smoked salmon here. It's kind of funny. So it actually says sea salmon smoked. So I need to go to salmon. Salmon's actually in this book. Fun fact. Salmon, you're in this book. How does it feel? Congratulations, you're in the book. Salicity. Salmon. Okay. Oh, here we are. Salmon. Smoked. Taste. Salty. Weight. Medium. Volume. Moderate/loud. Alright, so what this does, this book, it will tell you things that pair well with this thing. So, for example, things that go well with smoked salmon. Artichokes, avocados, bellini, bread such as bagels, pumpernickel, and rye white. White rye. Bell peppers, roasted red bell peppers, ginger, horseradish, juniper berries, leeks, lemons, limes, mascarpone, monkfish, mussels, mustard, oil, olive oil, oranges, onions, oysters, etc. and etc. It'll tell smoked salmon. It's essentially just gonna tell me everything that's like, okay, what works well with salmon? Where is it where is it best utilized in? Breakfast and brunch items. It's gonna be good with daikon. It's gonna be good with pasta. It's gonna be good for shisho leaves. Shisho leaves. And it also tells you things to avoid, but like mayonnaise and yogurt. Some say some. So yeah. But yeah, what is it? Salmon, you're in this book. You're in the book, salmon. And your seasonality for it is spring and early autumn. Don't get any ideas. I have a knife. Well, I have a book. I have a book of how to properly cook you. Like you'll be good with bacon, asparagus, basil, bay leaves, beans, fava beans, butter, carrots, shrivel, chili peppers, chives, cream, coriander, creme fraiche, cucumbers, dill, fennel, garlic, lemon, lentils, lime, all the whole 9 yards. Rah. But hash browns, I can look up potatoes because that's a thing too. Potato, patata. LMLPQRS. Alright, so LM. O. potato, okra. What? This book is great, though. Like, if you ever want to learn, like, hey, I want to make a cool dish, but I have no idea what to specifically make with said thing. Like, let's say, I am just being told what would like to happen to your body after it dies. Do you have to boil them, make them, or stick them in a stew? Like potatoes? Honestly, I like potatoes in any form. In soup, mashed, smashed, baked, in soups and stews, on a stick. Maybe not on a stick, but like, potatoes are great, no matter how you use them. The only thing I say potatoes aren't good in, is when they are raw. So yeah. I am just being told what would happen to your body after it dies. Fair enough. But what if I want to die? What if I want to die? Joke's on you, kid. But yeah, looking at this thing, there are so many things that work well with potatoes. Beef, butter, cheese, cream, leeks, rosemary. Oh, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? I should have a stream to where you just make like good food from Ratatouille. Ratatouille food stream. We make like the omelet that Remy makes, the soup, and no, actually I think we've made that before, no? We've made the Ratatouille before. Have we? I can't remember. I don't think we have, but I feel like we have. I don't know. I do not recall. But yeah, maybe we do a Ratatouille stream. Cause the funny thing about that soup in Ratatouille, it's most likely a vichyssoise, which is a cold potato and leek soup. However, unlike the traditional vichyssoise is that it was warm, most likely it's a vichyssoise, but a warm vichyssoise. Vichyssoise in its own right, by the way, is a very, very strange soup. I'm not really too much of a... I'm not too much of a fan of it, really. Unless it's warm. A cold vichyssoise is always kind of off. It's kind of strange. Weird, even, so. Not really too much of a fan of cold soups. Cold soup's weird. Cold soup's strange. Sorry, I'm doing something Sonic Chan would do. I'm getting distracted on Twitter. Oh no. Alright, here. Someone, tell me one more food ingredient and I will look it up. In this almanac, this Bible of Flavor. This Bible of Flavor has so much. I can literally tell you anything you would like to know. Anything at all. What would you like to know, my friends? The Bred boys in arms. What would you like to know about the flavor of Bibles? The Bible of Flavor. Actually, as you're trying to conjure up an idea, I'm gonna look up Bred, because I actually just kind of thought about that. As I haven't looked up Bred. But... Eel! That's a good one, okay. Hold on, let me look up Bred real quick, and I will look up eel. Boysenberries. There is no Bred! That's a crime. Alright, eel. Can you tell me what boo tastes like? tell you what tastes. What the book taste? Oh, what the book tastes like. Tastes like paper. Doesn't really taste like anything significant, honestly. It's like paper. E F filet mignon. A B C D E E eggplant. Endive. L M N E G L. Wait, there's no eel? Yeah, there's no eel. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. No eel. Alright, Sai, you gotta give me another one. Eel does not exist in this book. This book you're ahead of its time. You're too smart. You're way too smart to know that people like to eat eel. Honestly, I think eel tastes really good too. I like eel. Eel tastes really good. Eel's good. Sad. Shrimp, I guess. Or octopus. Ooh, octopus. That's fancy enough. Hopefully, I would think. LMNO. Olives. JKOC. Octopus. Okay, so. Wow, it's actually not that big of a. It's not that big of a section. Chili peppers, jalapenos, chives, chorizo, dashi, ginger, garlic, lemon, mint, olive oil, oranges, onions, pepper, black pepper, potatoes, pepper flakes, sake, red salt, obviously, soy sauce, tamarind, tangerines, tomato sauce, vinegar, champagne, yeah, grilled, simmered, or stewed. That is the techniques used for octopus. It's very boring. It's very boring, actually. Wait, is lemon? Yeah, okay, there's lemon. It's very boring, really. OP. Here, let me look up swim. If anything, I will say that this book is just really more or less good for... This book is just really good for inspiration, if anything. Like, oh, hey, I want to try and make myself a good barbecue or something like that. So, let me just go to... IJKLMNOP. Pomegranate, pork in general. Okay, I want to go to pork ribs. So, here are some good things that work with pork ribs. Allspice, bay leaves, beer, bourbon, butter, cabbage, chili powder, cider, coriander, cumin, garlic, ginger, hoisin, ginger, salt, honey, hot sauce, lemongrass, ketchup. Lemongrass is weird. Liquid smoke, mirepoix, molasses, mustard, onion, especially white onion, thyme, obviously. Everything works with thyme. All things work well with thyme. Thyme is just so versatile. It's good. Yeah. Everything works with pork. But yeah, you can look up this, and then you can get some ideas. Though I will admit and say that these ideas are very, very cool. Kind of feels very stagnant. When was this book made? Did they ever update it? Knowing this kind of book, though, because I imagine this is a genre of books. I imagine they probably did a barbecue, what is it? A barbecue Bible too. But who's to say? So this book is apparently from. It doesn't say where this book's from. Alright, well, if that's the case, let me just casually look up when was the food Bible created? Flavor Bible. When was it conceived? 2008. Oh my god. That is old. That's an old book. Oh my god. Alright. Well, I think that's enough book stuff. I think I'm good with reading. I don't want to read anymore, lads. I think I'm actually kind of done with the reading. Okay. Well, since we're done with the reading and done with the educating, let's go raid someone. Let's go raid into. Oh wait. Okay. Let's go raid. Frick. Frick, frack, snick, snack, tic, tac, pick, pack. Oishi? I don't know. Let me go let's go raid. You know what? Let's go raid Mimi. Yay! We're gonna go raid memers. The key. Alright, well, thank you all for tuning into this stream today. I hope you had a fun time today. A little bit different, a little bit of different things that we're not normally used to doing. But I hope you had fun nonetheless. Honestly, I actually kind of had a lot of fun with this. I like reading. Maybe we should do something like this a bit more in depth even. Or maybe I just get my other cooking books that and just like look and talk to you about that. It was fun. It was fun. But thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you, Hazer, Ice Phoenix, Sue, Sus, Bush, Colo, Nico, Heiser, Salmon, Sai, Nelf, Bush, and anyone else that I may or may have not have mentioned. Thank you all for tuning in today. Let's go tell hi to Mrs. Memers, and I will see you all around later. Okay? Alright. Otsukichi, everyone. Otsukichi. I hope you have a good rest of your morning, night, and or evening. And yeah, Otsukichi, everyone. And ciao. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.